It's a vintage unlike any other, a wine that comes straight from this residential suburb of Bordeaux. Around 10 years ago, Berenice and Alain turned a corner of their city garden into a micro vineyard, making their own fine wines just for themselves and a few friends.
We did it because we had a cedar tree which was covering the whole garden and which was blown down in the storms of 1999. So we found ourselves with this piece of land where everything was demolished. And I thought, instead of doing a lawn, let's plant some vines.
70 feet of Merlot and Cabernet grapes were duly put in. A few years later, in 2005, their first harvest produced barely 8 kilograms of grapes, and the resulting tipple was dubious at best. Berenice, a molecular biologist by trade, decided to step in and train herself up in the latest vinicultural techniques.
Le bon vin, le déguster, donc tout cela, ça me plaisait beaucoup. Mais je voulais
I've always loved tastings and fine wines, but I also wanted to know about wine-making techniques and terroir, and how all that affects the creation of a good wine. So I thought, well, if you want something done properly, do it yourself.
Et donc je me suis dit, bon, mais rien de tel que de faire ça moi-même.
The result was Microvino, a how-to guide about growing, fermenting and bottling your own wine for smallholders with up to 100 kilos of grapes to play with. But be warned, you'll need plenty of free time for this hobby, and you can say goodbye to your summer holidays.
Si c'était mon métier,
If this was actually my job, I'd find it quite restrictive. You've got to be here all over summer because that's the most sensitive time for the vines.
donc il faut y être.
Come harvest though, and it's a good excuse to get friends round to help out with gathering and sorting the grapes before crushing them by foot in the traditional manner. And Alain and Berenice have learned a few things since they started, meaning the wines themselves have become quite a coveted reward as well.
Il est très bon.